Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk to you guys about some key reasons why we get depressed. And these are going to be outside of kind of what I talked about in previous videos, so hear me out here. The first thing, that no one really takes into consideration when talking about depression is socializing, right? And you hear me all the time talking about, oh, stay away from toxic people, stay away from people who bring you down, who complain, who just lower your vibration. But here's the thing: humans in evolutionary times, in the past, have always been around other humans in tribes. And so now, obviously, with the internet and with, we're working all the time, we don't have that connection and time that we used to have with other human beings, right? We're alone most of the day, with few exceptions, right? But a lot of us feel lonely now, and again, I don't hate the internet, I don't hate technology, but again, it's mostly because of our technology, right? And so what this does is it makes us lazy, and it makes us, kind of careless when we're around other people. We don't really care about saying hi. We just kind of want to be left alone and do our own thing. And so when we're alone, we get no connection, we get no dopamine, uh, and we feel disconnected. We feel like no one understands us, and so we feel depressed. We feel like, yeah, I'm not worthy. We feel like, what is life? We get nihilistic, and so that's one thing. I really think, if you're not like, I feel like you should at least talk to someone every day, even if it's just like for a minute or two. Just talk to someone, whether it's over the phone. I mean, obviously, over the phone's not as good as in person, but just you can't just be a hermit all, like, forever. I mean, you can still kind of get away with it, just talk to people here and there, like, when you're passing, in a grocery store, at work, in nature, wherever you go, right? If you see people, just say hello, right? So that's something that's kind of big, and I really think I don't think a lot of people take that into consideration. So the next thing I want to talk about is being in nature. Being in nature. This might be the biggest one, the most foundational one, and I think it's the reason why, even if you have a good diet, even if you take cold showers, even if you're on NoFap, even if you're, again, doing all the right things, but you're inside most of the day, you're at work, you're coming home, you're inside, you're watching TV, you're not going outside, and you're not connecting with the elements, right? And it's so weird because for so many thousands of years, we've been outdoors. We've been outdoors and we're not outdoors. Like, it just, you know, even in like the cold weather, right? I mean, we could still like build huts and be outside. Guys, listen, in future times, I don't know, 50, 100 years, 500 years, human beings are going to have to start designing their lifestyle around being in nature, right? Because we cannot afford to, guys, most people are working 40 hours a week and they're inside, right? They work 9 to 5, so they're inside from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. they come home. And then they come home and they're inside. And especially if you live in a cold country, it gets dark at like 4:30, so you come home, it's dark. You get zero time in nature, maybe on weekends. That's not good enough. And most people don't go outside on weekends. They sit home, they watch the news, they hang out with their family. That's cool and all. But guys, we got to get out in the sun. I'm here in the sun. I'm outside. I'm about to go for a walk after this video. And I've honestly been slacking on nature kind of in the past, couple weeks. But it's very important, man, because now, like, I just realized how much, like, we don't go and connect with the trees, with the air, with the birds. It makes zero sense why we kind of like got away from nature. It's just like, how? So that's going to be something that really will help you with depression. Just go out in nature, chill. look at a pond, just hear the birds, be with the sun if the sun's out, and I'm telling you, man, if you do that on like a consistent basis, you don't have to do it every day. Just get out a couple times a week, and make sure you socialize. Try do the best. I know, man. Like a lot of people are toxic as fuck. We're in the Kali Yuga. A lot of people are they have a low vibration. You can't connect with them. They're lost. And for a lot of us who are kind of awake and see how the world is, I honestly, man, I can kind of put up with it for like 5 minutes. I can put up with small talk for about 5 minutes, and then I'm just like, man, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. But honestly, man, I really think nature is probably more important than socializing. So, I mean, obviously socializing is important, relationships makes you feel connected with humanity. But even honestly, if you just go to like a public park and as long as you like see human beings around, that honestly is like enough, because it makes you feel like you're not alone in the world. Guys, how many of us are inside all day, playing video games on our phone? Guys, I've been a victim to that, and I'm telling you right now, I experience the most depression when I'm inside most of the day, and that's why in winter we're depressed, because we're not outside. It's that simple. There's no sun and we're not outside, right? And so even in the winter time, if you live in a cold state or cold country, it's still important to get outside in the crisp air, man. I did it this past winter, and it was, this winter wasn't too bad, man. I'll give it that. When it was sunny out, I spent my time in the sun. I got an hour of sunlight maybe when the sun was out, and I did my best. Of course, there were days when I didn't feel optimal. I felt a little depressed, but for the most part, if you're doing NoFap, if you're eating right, if you're taking cold showers, if you're walking a lot, if you're just socializing a little bit, if you're seeing human beings around, you're gonna be fine. But it's when we just sit around inside on our phones, when we play video games, when we're always like on the web and shit, that's when we fuck up our brains, and that's when we, like, I don't know, man, that's when we get depressed, because now our neurotransmitters are all screwed up and we don't have adequate dopamine production or serotonin production. So yeah, I mean, nature is great for dopamine production. It gives you a healthy, it gives you a healthy amount of dopamine stimulation, like just the right amount for you to stay satisfied throughout the day. So does socializing. And so those are two important things, man, that I honestly am starting to realize matter for human beings. And if more people did it, we'd have less cases for depression, anxiety, all this other stuff. So yeah, guys, that's kind of the main message here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to get notified when I upload. And if you have any questions, comments, video recommendations, or just anything, leave it down below, and I will do my best to get back to you. And as always, I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.